It's about to get real.
First time I saw him was at a comedy club. Now he's playing Radio City Music Hall.
Gabriel Iglesias, a very religious name for a very non-religious person.
The genius comedian, how do you feel to be named as that?
First of all, who said genius? Thank you. That's a pretty big shoes to fill. I wouldn't consider myself a genius. I would consider myself creative and really good at marketing. And just, overall, my show is very broad, so I make it so that everyone is accessible to it, and, it's a friendly show. I try not to rub people the wrong way. I try to keep politics out of my show. I try to keep religion out of my show, and I definitely keep sports out of it. If you stay away from those three things, I think you're gonna be okay.
Back in the day, I had a thing called a Nintendo Entertainment System. You had to work to play. It was like performing CPR. You'd hold a cartridge, and then it was like, you push it down, you push it up, you push it down, you push it up. Give it oxygen! Yeah, yeah!
The Fluffy movie is my fifth stand-up special. The difference between this one and the other ones that came out on Comedy Central is that this one gets very, very personal. It's very, very personal, and because of the fact that it's in theaters, not on cable, I needed to make sure it was presented in a bigger way. Yeah. So first of all, there's a mini film that starts off at the beginning of the Fluffy movie that tells a story of how my mom and dad met and how I got inspired to become a comedian. And then the concert starts, and I started off by getting very, very personal and talking about my health and how I had to lose 100 pounds because of my condition with type 2 diabetes. And so I'm trying to explain to the people, look, I know I'm the fluffy guy, but I'm going through a transition, and I need to let the people know that just because I'm losing weight doesn't mean I'm gonna stop being funny. But you have to let the people know. You can't just show up one day, big, and then you show up the next day and you're skinny and not tell them. You have to address it. And so I think by letting the people know it's for health reasons, I'm gonna be okay.
Somebody stop him!
It's pretty huge, and it's a big responsibility. I mean, it's one of those things where, every comic wants to have a special. Every comic wants to have that HBO or that Comedy Central special, and usually that's as far as it goes. It's very few people that have taken it to this level. You got to go back to Richard Pryor, then Eddie Murphy, then Kings of Comedy, and then not too long ago, Kevin Hart. And Kevin Hart was one of the reasons why I got this opportunity, because Hollywood saw that, a comedy concert film costs very little to make as far as Hollywood's concerned, but the potential is really, really huge, especially with social networks and YouTube. And so they said, who else can, has these similar numbers to Kevin? And that's when I got the phone call. Nice. So fortunately, Kevin's specials did well, and that's why I got this chance. So thank you, Kevin. Thank you. Put me right along too. So I'm very excited, and being the first Latino to get this opportunity. There's been others before me that definitely should have had this opportunity, and I'm just grateful that that it's me.
How hard was the hustle?
How hard? It was very hard. First of all, it's like, okay, look, growing up in a rough neighborhood, I didn't have all the opportunities in the world. Growing up, a broken home, bad neighborhood, overweight kid, my teeth were messed up, I had acne. I didn't exactly look like the Hollywood type, somebody that should be making movies. So, to overcome, first of all, that, and then, in school, being bullied and, just not being the most popular person in school, but still having the desire and the dream to want to do this, I think it was just my persistence. And being able to get up on stage allowed me to vent about all my issues that I had, and I think people related to that. And they see a lot of themselves in me because I'm not the norm. Yeah. I'm flawed. I start off my special by saying I'm sick. So who else does that?
I know.
Everybody's like, oh my God, it's just like me. And I think that's the reason why my shows have been successful, because there's a lot of, the ability to relate is the most important thing. And I think by showing people I'm normal, I think that's what connects. Don't forget, July 25th, people, in theaters, everywhere, same day as Hercules. You can go see The Rock or you can see The Fluff. It's up to you.